This guy has made one bad decision after another, and it doesn't look like that's coming to an end anytime soon. So on September 25th, a woman contacted police in Greenbrier to say that her husband was having a predatory relationship with a minor, a 15-year-old. When the child spoke with authorities about Mr. Joshua Dwyer, the child handed over her phone that had photos of herself with Joshua Dwyer. They were photos of a sexual nature. 2 days after police were contacted, Joshua Dwyer went to the Greenbrier Police Department where he was interviewed. And during that interview, he did admit to having intercourse with the juvenile every day for the last 2 months. 2 days after that interview, so on September 29th, the Greenbrier Fire Department was called to 38 Waycross Drive in Greenbrier due to a structural fire. After the fire department responded to this structural fire, they contacted the Arkansas State Police Fire and Explosive Division and requested that Arkansas State Police come in and conduct an origin and cause investigation, meaning they'll come in and figure out how this fire started, what the cause of the fire was. So things got pretty weird pretty fast, in my opinion. When investigators spoke to Joshua Dwyer about this house fire that he had, Mr. Dwyer told investigators that he was in his room laying in bed watching NFL Red Zone when he heard smoke detectors that were going off in the living room. According to Joshua Dwyer, only 2 smoke detectors were up in his home, and both of them were in the living room. He said he had 3 or 4 more that had been up in his house, but he was replacing the smoke detectors in his home. So those 3 or 4 ones were actually just in the trash can because he had pulled them down. So Mr. Dwyer told investigators that when he opened the door, the house was full of smoke. He said he couldn't see anything. He was able to make his way to the garage door, and he ran out of the home through the garage door. He did tell investigators that his truck was backed into the garage partially, but he was able to move his truck to the street pretty easily. It seemed like when police asked Mr. Dwyer questions, Mr. Dwyer was like, yeah. So they asked him if he had any electrical issues that he had been experiencing in the house, and he said they had to replace their refrigerator and their dishwasher every year since they moved in the house in 2012, and that the lights above the kitchen counter had always flickered. And also in December of 2023, their air conditioning unit went out, so that had to be replaced. He also told police that about 15 minutes before this fire started, he had blown out a large candle that was sitting on the table beside the couch in the living room. I don't think that investigators ever for a second thought that this man was telling the truth, because they went into the house to investigate, like how the fire started, and they were able to see different spots where fires had been started, small fires, like on the comforter of Joshua Dwyer's bed. There was a spot on the carpet between his bed and the bedroom door. There was a spot on the living room couch where there was a fire. And there was another spot in one of the back bedrooms where that potential 15-year-old rape victim had slept. Now, while investigators were inside the home, they were able to find 8 smoke detectors that had been unplugged from the ceiling. And there were 9 smoke detectors that were in a trash can outside of the home. That wasn't the only thing, though, because police also found that inside Joshua Dwyer's truck, there were family photos, some of them framed. There was also clothing inside of his truck. Investigators told Joshua Dwyer that they had a few more questions for him and asked if he could take another trip down to the Greenbrier police station. He said that he would. He had to be getting familiar with the Greenbrier police station by this time because he'd been down there. He was down there 2 days before. So during this interview, the police just came out and told Joshua, they think that he set the fire. They said that they have seen people in other similar situations, and those people, under such stress of a grape case pending and stuff, maybe wanted to unalive themselves. And they asked him, what it was that happened, and he then said that he had taken some NyQuil and Benadryl, and he just wanted to end it all. To be clear, he admitted to setting the fires and then going to fall asleep. So Joshua Dwyer is in the Faulkner County Detention Center, where he has been charged with rape and arson.